and welcome. Welcome to the Red Cup Chronicles. I'm your girl, Nixie. Um, we got my guys, Trends and CJ here tonight with us. Um,
What's up?
let's
What's
get
up?
started. Let's get it started. How was
It was
your
good. It was
day?
good.
How was how's it going? How's the week progressing? It's hump day, How's the week going?
Man, it's been rough for me, man. I don't know. It's just been a little bit overwhelmed just by what's been going on in the social world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
Mm-hmm.
but just trying to keep positive, pretty much.
Yeah, it's been a lot going on. A lot going on.
yeah. Well,
No, that's
we want to start off, our show tonight, with some rest in peace. Rest in peace to Black Rob and rest in peace to DMX. I feel like my whole playlist is being wiped away. I'm a '90s kid. I grew up '80s, '90s, and my whole playlist. If you ride with me, I'm straight '90s. I'm stuck in the '90s. So I feel like '90s and 2000s, early 2000s, and I feel like you know it's hitting home. It's like, wait a minute, So rest in peace to those guys.
rest in peace. Rest in peace. It
Yeah,
feels funny. I don't know. Like it's weird. I was happy that they did the verses Method Man and Redman. That made me
yeah.
feel so much better. That was a great verses. It really was.
That was one of the best ones. Because
Yes.
that was a
Yes.
concert. That wasn't a versus. That was a concert. So that was one of the best ones when I caught it. When I caught it, because I came in on the middle to the end, but they were still wilding, and I thought it was good. I enjoyed what I saw.
It was lit. It was
It was good.
definitely lit. It was a
Super
whole
lit.
situation for
Super
me,
lit.
man. Like I was like, damn, I can't even call this a versus. This is like an actual concert, man. It was like, shit, you know what I'm saying? I had my beer, I had my cap on, you know what I'm saying? I was feeling it.
Hit
Yeah.
after hit. They was both just throwing them out. I couldn't choose. I could never choose. But that's no, it wasn't about choosing. It was about having a good time, man.
Yeah, I don't think it's about
Yeah.
choosing. I think I don't think it's about
It
because
definitely,
you can't pick a winner. You can't pick a winner. Happy belated 420 to you 420ers. So I
Yes.
hope you
Yes.
enjoyed your day.
And
I
your
hope
your
no,
smoke festivities.
yeah.
That's why I'm wearing green. You know, I'm wearing green.
You
yeah,
still
I hope
celebrating? I
I'm
hope
still
no
celebrating.
I am.
I hope no
Say it.
randoms pop up in your life anytime
No,
soon. So
no,
hope not.
none of that.
But
All right.
what's going on? What's going on, guys? What's up?
I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good.
What you got in that
Business is
cup there? What's in that cup there, sir?
for me.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about this right here? Oh, so
What's in there?
last Saturday when we was talking about, we had the Big A podcast. I had a cup with me, and I had a mixture of different liquor in one bottle. And so pretty much what I do is when there's like a little bit of liquor left, I never drink the last bit of it. So what I do is I empty it out in an empty bottle and just like it's red. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be Hennessy, Douce, it could be anything. So I had about 6 bottles that was just had a little bit left in it. So I'll just pour them all in one bottle. It was like Hennessy, Douce, Martell, some of the Lafroig, some Jameson, some Jim Beam. It's all in one cup. So this is what's in here. So I finally figured out a name for it, and I'm gonna call it the Grand Slam. All right, I'm gonna call it the Grand Slam. So it's about right here, right now. So by the end of the show, it should be empty, and then after the show, you know, what I'm saying, we're gonna be on Clubhouse talking about it. I might pass out and miss.
You need to call that rot gut or something, because you placid walls or something. All that. No, thank you, sir. No, thank you. I'm good. I'm good.
But during the BKE podcast, you was the only one that was really calm. So whatever you got in that drink is keeping you relaxed because everybody else was
I
on
mean,
1,000.
listen, let me tell you something. That night I was calm, but it was like, I was very, I wasn't gonna say jittery, but my energy was at an all time high. But I had to keep it low because it got a little spicy at the end of the show. So I had to keep things leveled a little bit.
Very spicy, very. Yeah.
Sharice, that is not crazy horse. I mean, I guess that's what they call it, but I'm gonna call it the Grand Slam. I like the name better.
It's crazy,
The
Ari.
Grand Slam.
Grand slam. You gonna
The
be
Grand
slammed right on
Slam,
that
man.
floor. You gotta get up and be slammed right on that floor.
Mm, I might go to sleep after this. You never know.
I get it. Well, there have been some things in the news that we want to touch upon. Congratulations to the family of George Floyd. We have finally seen some justice. His
Yes, yes.
murderer was convicted. He is a murderer. Let's call it what it is. And he was convicted of second degree and third degree murder. Um,
Definitely.
if sentencing goes the way it should go, he's looking at a minimum of 65 years. But that's, you know, um, up to the judge.
Yeah.
Up to the judge to determine, whether or not um, he's going to serve any time, if he serves any time. Um, is this a victory though? Do we should we be saying congratulations? Do you think it's a
No.
victory?
I when it happened, I said that it's a weight lifted off the family's shoulder itself, but it's not a victory. It's the law finally holding their own accountable. They're just holding their own accountable. There's still a lot of things that needs to be held accountable. Starting with Amar Aubrey, starting with Breonna Taylor, those things still need to be held accountable. Even a gentleman who was wrongfully slain down in the comfort of his own home, just by watching TV, and this white lady just walked in and just shot him. That was a police officer. She needs to be held accountable. I mean, she's serving time right now, but it's not enough time. These people need to be held accountable. Dante Wright that literally happened over the course of the last couple of weeks. It needs to be held accountable, man. And even recently, yesterday, while the verdict was given, Makia Bryant was slain down again by the law enforcement. Needs to be held accountable because it's crazy out here. We all say, "Oh, they should have used the taser. Why didn't they shoot to detain?" Well, I'm gonna tell y'all this. When they go to the gun range at the police department, notice that the actual target doesn't have no legs, no arms, no none of that. Has a center mass, all torso frame. So there you have it. That's your answer right there. That's your answer right there. They don't have targets, at the police department where you see legs and arms where it says, "Hey, shoot here to detain." No, it's a whole torso. You know, no arms attached, no legs attached, just all torso and center mass right here. So that's just where it's at.
Well, I mean, I definitely understand where you're coming from, but I feel like it's a start. We gotta start somewhere, and it's
Right.
all gonna take a long time. It's they still doing fucked up shit. They still killing us. They still shooting us down. But at least we started here. We got justice now, or for now. So I feel like it's worth celebrating. But let's not forget. Let's keep fighting, and that's it.
I agree. I agree. So you guys mentioned Makia, I think that's her name, Makia Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday during the reading of the verdict or during the broadcast of the verdict, a 15-year-old girl, young teenage girl, was uh, killed by a police officer. There was a fight. She was being bullied, from what I understand. She was being bullied. The assailant showed up at her house. She called the police for help, but then she went outside wielding a knife. Okay. And when the police arrived, she was in I guess, the midst of attacking one of her assailants, and the police shot her 4 times and killed her. She died on the way. She died at the hospital. She was pronounced dead at the hospital. Um,
Now you didn't even get a chance to transport her. She died right there in the driveway.
I have two issues, and I've seen, because I am in Facebook jail, but I can see different things, and I see both ends of the spectrum. Okay, so on one end you have people saying um, he was supposed to shoot her. He was supposed to shoot her. He didn't know what he was getting into. He didn't know she was 15. He didn't know what was going on. He jumped out the car. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have people saying he didn't give any commands. He just pulled out his gun and started blazing. He didn't tase and he didn't do anything. Now, this is why I'm not going to say confused. This is why I'm on the fence, because I am a mother. I'm a mother of a young girl. Okay. One token, all I see is this 15-year-old with a knife going after my child. Okay. So you stopped it. And then on the other token, I see this police officer who didn't do anything to de-escalate the situation. Because isn't that what you're trained to do? You're trained to de-escalate the situation and and get it under control. My other problem is with you world star videographers. Okay. Nobody tried to break up the fight. There were parents outside, there were spectators outside, there were whoever was videotaping it, because what we saw on the news was the police footage, because the police chief automatically went and did a press conference, and he automatically, he showed they pulled the body cam footage right away. So he showed it the first time because the police officer is trying to say that she came at him with the knife. So they showed the body cam footage, and then they showed it in slow motion. Okay. In this, when he pulls out his gun, you can hear a grown man saying, "She's a child, she's a child." So these grown-ups were outside when these kids were fighting. How, before it got to the point where this little girl was wielding this knife, why didn't anybody stop it? And that's my issue. There are people that everybody wants to be seen, and we talked about this. Everybody wants to. This is the look at me generation. Everybody wants to be seen, and everything has to be videotaped, and everything has to be posted to Instagram and the other show. They were talking about the killing in Chicago, where the guy in the drive-through with his daughter, and the daughter was shot 6 times. It was a retaliation because he videotaped himself urinating on the grave of a gang member, and they retaliated. And why does everything have to be posted and seen and just so, like, look at me, look at me, look at me? Like, this is what bothers me. Not only does the police just opening fire on this little, like she was an animal, because that's what you did. You pulled out your gun, and you
Straight.
you didn't tase her. You didn't mace her. You didn't knock the knife out her hand. You didn't even pull out your billy club. I would have rather you done those things. You immediately pulled out your gun and you blasted 4 bullets into this little girl's chest. Okay. Wasn't a
But
bad
you,
girl. You know, she wasn't a bad girl. Mother said she was on the honor roll. She was a straight A student. She was being bullied. What do kids do? They fight.
Mm-hmm.
They fight. But to just, you just treated it like she was a runaway cattle or something it doesn't sit right with me.
But
You
even if
know.
it
oh,
was, even if she was an adult, you still, they still didn't have to pull. You don't pull out your gun first. If your job is to de-escalate the situation, right? Like you said, that he could have went through many different options. The taser, billy club. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go directly straight to the gun. Cause that ends all be all. The objection or the objective shouldn't be shoot to kill. It shouldn't be.
And why four
shouldn't
times? You couldn't disarm
exactly.
her. Why four
So,
times?
so nigga, I'm gonna piggyback on what you said. You know, the on the token of part where you said, it being your 15-year-old daughter, right? So I had this conversation with a gentleman earlier today on Facebook, and he said the same thing. So I said, you know what? I understand what you're saying. As a civilian, looking from the outside in, yeah, I would have shot her. No doubt about it. I would have shot her. But guess what? Dude got a badge on. That civilian shit got out the door.
Mm-hmm.
You got a badge on.
Protect and
You could have.
serve.
You had three options. First option, you could have tackled her from behind. That's one. You're a police officer. Don't care how big she is. You could have still tackled her.
Hmm.
Two. Second option, could have took out the billy club and hit her in the arm. I know how one of them billy clubs feel. I done felt one of them. I know exactly how they feel. So one swing on the wrist, you might break the wrist. You damn sure gonna drop that knife.
Right.
Two, the third option, use the taser. If you look at the body cam footage, you well within 10 feet of the taser range. So again, what was the disconnect?
And then
What was the disconnect?
if you're gonna pull your gun, right? That don't mean shoot. You know, you pull your gun,
Listen,
you scaring somebody. All right. You know what
everybody
I'm saying?
everybody keeps saying, well, she lunged at the girl with the knife. I said, I get that. But the time that the police spent saying, hey, stop where you at, drop the knife, all that shit,
Mm-hmm.
you could have done those three options
He
that I
could have
just
went through
gave.
all
But
that
did
other.
they
Yeah.
say that? Because the
No, he said
witnesses are saying he didn't throw out any commands. He jumped out the car and
it's in his report. It was in his report and his partner's report. It says he informed her to drop the knife, and she lunged at the girl. My whole thing is, you seen what the situation was. You seen what the situation was. You should have did
right,
something instead of shooting. But what happened is, this is where the skin complexion matters. This is where the skin complexion plays its part. It was a white cop and African American woman. He got a knife in his hand, they automatically see threat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, situation different. If it was a white woman,
He would have went through all those options. He probably would have never went through anything. You know what I mean?
listen, you understand? So, yes, me seeing that body cam footage made me emotional. It made me just as emotional as watching the Ahmaud Arbery video over again, watching the Breonna Taylor footage over again, watching the George Floyd footage over again. It made me emotional. Not because I'm seeing it from the footage. It's because these guys could have been any part of member of our family.
right,
George Floyd could have been an uncle or my father. Breonna Taylor and Makia Bryant could have been my sisters. Ahmaud Arbery could have been my brother. Dante Wright could have been my little brother. So I treat it as the same as if they are blood, even if they not blood. Because guess what? It could have been me.
Right.
So when I walk these streets now every day, when I see a police car, I get tense.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Why? It only takes a little thing. And what's that one little thing? Somebody looking for somebody, and I fit the description.
Mm-hmm.
They want to stop me and ask me questions. Once I ask them a question back that doesn't make sense, then it's a problem.
Not even that. You could just walking out the house and be in the skin complexion.
Exactly.
That's it. It don't
Another
matter
thing that
what
we
you're doing.
must do, another thing we must do in African American community is hold ourselves accountable. We fail to do that every time. We have to hold ourselves accountable. Like you said, Nikki, there was multiple people out there.
Mm-hmm.
Not one time, nobody decided to try to break up the situation. They had the cameras out.
And
You
all
know, the
these
police got out there.
hardcore niggas,
Yeah,
all these
the police get
hardcore
out there
thugs.
on the video camera just to see if the police fuck up. I get it. You want to show that the police are corrupt, but why does it have to get to the point when the police does the most corrupt shit to want to stop anything? Get there before the cops got there. You could have stopped it.
Yeah.
So it was just wrong on all points of the spectrum. For the people who's trying to justify it, listen, you need to check yourself. Because I've done a lot of checking today. You can be on the fence all you want, but the point is, you shot her 4 times. Doesn't take 4 times. Doesn't
You're
take four
right.
times.
I
Then
agree.
it all goes back to the beginning of the circle, like I said in the beginning. When the police go to the firing range in the department and they put up their target, it's only one part of the body that's there. It's the head and the
Mm-hmm.
torso. Center mass. That's what they really trying to do.
So why aren't we asking the question? Why aren't we being apprehended? Why are we being killed in the midst of, being searched or being questioned? Why aren't we apprehended like everybody else?
One reason why. See that? See
But
this?
what makes it, but this is the thing. Because when you rob me of my due diligence, my due justice, because when I get the court, I'm not gonna get a fair shake anyway. So why are you robbing me of that? Why are you robbing me of being, able to prove my innocence? Why are you robbing? What is it about me that makes it so that the first thing you think is I gotta shoot this person? That's the only way I'm gonna be able to take this person out. What is it about my
Privilege.
skin color that, you know, you
Privilege.
think because I'm black, the bullets are gonna just bounce off of me or something? Like it doesn't. What? Why aren't we having these conversations though? Why aren't we asking? Law enforcement. Why aren't we asking them? And I know we're going to get the textbook answer. We're going to get the politically correct answer, but why aren't we asking these questions? Like, you
I
know,
feel like I feel like we already know. It's multiple answers. One of the answers is they're jealous. They're jealous of us. They take, and we just talking about white people, period, right? They take everything from us, everything. We can't have anything for ourselves, right? And black people, we're the strongest culture. We create everything. We move everything. You understand what I'm saying? Like jealousy, hate, all that stuff. They don't like us, and they like to mix in this thing about they like to bring up that whole thing about blacks killing other blacks, which is a thing. It's true, but it's not something we can continue to to bring up as an argument, against this police brutality. Like, there's still no reason for us to be shot up and killed like animals. And this
Right.
has been going on way back, what I'm saying? Slavery, they looked at us the same way. Animals. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Just we
Always
animals to
have.
them. That's they don't see us as human beings. What did they call us back then? Three-fifths, three-fifths of a man, or something like that.
Mm,
You know that continues even into modern day society. And these people, these cops, they got families, they got grandfathers, whose father was a slave on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's in their DNA to hate us, or to think that we're animals, and that's unfortunate.
yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I definitely agree. I mean, listen, I've said it. I've said it. All these years is that this country itself is built on blood.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that it's going to end on blood. Regardless of how people look at it, it was built on blood. This land here was already adapted to by the Native Americans. Only thing they had to do was have an understanding. Just have an understanding. Hey, guess what, guys? We come from overseas, and we're looking to expand here. What do we have to do in agreements? Simple, right?
Right.
But guess what? It's easier when you have the power. You already have the power. You already have the privilege. It's easier to take. It's easier to take because they have that privilege. They always have that privilege. So as long as we live, they will always use that privilege. Always. And that's not a shadow of a doubt in my mind. That's just how I think.
Right. Right. Well, I don't know. We just have to do our part. We have to do our part until things get better. Um, we just we have to, and we have to work. We have to do some work. We can't just sit around and wait for things to get better. We have to do some work within um our communities and things like that.
Say that again.
You know, we have to start there, and we need, starts at home. So we do the things that we're supposed to do, and then we, work from the inside out to
We
make
got
things better for everybody.
we got to come together. It's just
All
we
right.
see
Yeah.
we definitely got to come together. Like we see, like you see a lot of abandoned schools, right? See these
Mhm.
abandoned buildings. You see a lot of these things. People just ride by them. It's like, oh, they got another abandoned building. Okay, cool. But it just takes a few of us to stop and be like, let's build something here. It ain't got to be a liquor store. It ain't got to be a corner store. Even if it is, show. Make it into a school. Make it into something that puts a standard in our community for us. That's what we got to do. Until that happens. But if we keep sitting here and looking at each other as divided, we will never grow.
You're right.
I
You're
agree.
right.
I
And I
agree.
agree. I agree. All right. Well, we kind of put a little, you know, today's show was supposed to touch on the sensitive things that are going on this week, so we want to do that. But moving on to our next subject, trauma porn. So I've been seeing this phrase up and down my timeline, all over Twitter, all over Instagram. They talked about it in the clubhouse. Um, And so I Googled it because, I want to be correct. So, trauma porn is the art and media created around the exploitation of marginalized people. Okay. So, the question
You know,
is,
you know they can't say the other word.
huh?
You know they
What,
can't say the other word.
what other word?
Black people.
Okay.
Black people.
Whatever I say be getting me put in Facebook jail. So it don't, I can't say black, white, shit. I can't say nothing. So, I gotta be,
Marginalized.
yeah, marginalized people. So basically, it trauma porn and what people are, labeling trauma porn, period pieces, slavery, depression, the Great Depression, things like that. So what trauma porn is it's the uh exploitation of something that happened that was traumatic, and now people are capitalizing off of it. So last week, um a Amazon Prime released a series called Them. Okay. And the only way I could describe it was Us meets Lovecraft Country meets um American Horror Story. Okay.
Mm.
Because it was kind of just like those uh shows.
Yeah.
So and this is a spoiler, so if you haven't seen it, we don't want you to not continue to watch us, but it's a spoiler. So basically, it takes place in the 50s. This black couple and their family, their two kids, they moved from North Carolina to California. So basically, the Great Migration, because that's what it was. It was the Great Migration where Southerners decided that they were going to move west. And he was an engineer. He got a job working at this company in California, and they moved to Compton. Well, if you know anything about Compton, the history of Compton, Compton used to be white. Okay, it was a white thriving area. Um, so they moved to Compton. They were the only black people in the neighborhood, and the white people in the neighborhood basically terrorized them, wanting them to move and wanting them to get out. But in the meantime, and some people didn't catch on to this part, they were fighting their own demons. So there were things going on in the house, like they were seeing things, they were seeing things that happened to them. People were coming to them, the devil. Um, the little girl, she was into the manners and proper. She wanted to be a teacher, and the book she was reading, the lady in the book was haunting her, things like that. So they were fighting their own demons also. Um, but is taking this era, the 50s, putting these, and could they have done it without that? Or would it have been the same thing like American Horror Story, like Us? Like would it have been the same thing going on, you know, had they had not placed it in that traumatic time and experience?
I feel like it didn't have to be a horror show. For me personally, I felt like the ghost and them seeing their demons or whatever. I felt like it added nothing to the show. If anything, it kind of threw me off of the the plot of the show. Period. Because I'm like, what does this have to do with what's going on today? You know what I mean? Like in the beginning, the they showed the white lady singing that song or whatever, and then fast forward, the little girl starts singing the song, and I'm thinking, when I'm watching, I'm thinking, okay, this song means something. It means something. It didn't mean anything. It just, you understand what I'm saying? It just, they just threw that in there. You know how they put jump scares in movies to make
Hmm.
you jump, you know what I mean, and call it a scary movie. Like, they could have took all that shit out and just had the regular story of the black people moving into the white neighborhood and the white people not liking it, and playing the racist music in front of their house. All that shit could have just, that could have been a story.
But
You know what I mean?
it still would be labeled trauma porn, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it still be trauma porn though? Because with everything that's going
in
on,
a sense.
everything that's going on in the country today, I think people are tired of seeing us in that light, in that dynamic. Like for in order for something to be good or an excellent show, why do we have to be, why do we have to be degraded? Why do we have to be, put out
Why
on
do
that?
some of yeah.
Well, I feel like the trauma comes in when it becomes excessive, because they've been doing this forever. You know, remember years ago when 12 Years a Slave came out? I still didn't see it because I don't want to look at, those kind of images. But things like that always used to bother me. But they've been doing this for years. I feel like now, I don't know, maybe the younger generation are kind of waking up, so to speak, and looking at the way things are. And they're like, wait a minute, you don't have to do this. We don't need to see this over and over again. We're already dealing with, enough shit as it is. Why you guys keep throwing it in our face? For instance, the George Floyd situation. They came up with a ton of documentaries on Netflix about that situation. And some of them weren't even informative. They were just for entertainment purposes only, which is really sick if you think about it. Like, that's not entertainment. That, why would you even put some shit like, if it's not going to be informative, if it's not going to, there's no need for you to put it out. So I feel like something, remember that movie A Time to Kill with Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah.
When I was younger, that fucked me up. I was a kid, I was like, damn, it's really like that. That messed me up. But later on, I understood this is a movie, and they, those kind of movies didn't come out behind each other like they do now. Today, these shits are just come one by one. TV shows, movies, like they're making super profit off of our pain. What's that
Mhm.
new show? Distant Relatives. You told me about it. With
Distant.
the something like
Oh,
that.
two distant friends or something like that, or two distant. So the premise, I didn't watch it because I had just finished watching them, and that was a lot. That
Yeah,
was a lot.
yeah.
But the
You talking
premise,
about
go ahead, I'm sorry.
yeah, you talking about the show where the guy keeps going looping back in time. It's like
Yeah.
different. Yeah, 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 yeah.
And
I
and
actually
and
seen
every
that.
time he wakes up, he's being
Yeah.
uh, accosted by this cop, or he's being threatened by
Yeah.
this cop, or whatever, to go
Hmm.
take his dog out or something
Yeah.
like that.
I
Hmm.
saw that. There was no need. It had no. If you're gonna do something like that in the name of filmmaking, at least have a plot, an actual story. There was no story. It was just him waking up and getting shot and
So it was
blood.
like
And
Groundhog Day with
that's
okay.
it. There's nothing else to it. It was 30 minutes of that. That's it.
So what's funny to me is that they can easily make movies about our traumatic experience through history, whether it's slavery, whether it's police brutality amongst the African American community, anything, be anything, black on black crime. They can make movies to exploit this, right? But let me ask this: how many movies have you seen produced, like literally produced, where the African American community built an economy for themselves. It became successful. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, just think about it. How many
Very
movies when
few.
you see a movie where the character is an African American guy. He moves on up through the world, and he finds love, and he's just like so successful in the end. It's not unless it's on like a independent black network, like on the app that only shows like
All
African
black.
American movies. Yeah, oh,
All
independent
black.
African American, yeah, all black.
But
You don't
even
see those
even
on
with
Netflix
those,
though.
no, even with those, it's like they have to go
Exactly,
through like
exactly.
the
They have to
climatic
go through the worst. Yeah, they have to go
is
through the
them
worst.
going through something traumatic and
So
overcoming the trauma.
yeah,
It's just
it's
like that
crazy. There's
code.
this one show. There's this one movie on Netflix, and it was a short film, but I don't even think I can find it on Netflix anymore. So pretty much what it was about is it's this small African American community, gated community inside of the middle of Chicago, the suburbs. And in this community, um, it's they have a black mayor, they have a black city hall, all black, all black stores, all black, a few all black banks, schools, things like that. Where the only thing you see is black people living in this community. There's no crime there or nothing or none of that, But then, of course, there's a white man who found out about the city and wants to know more about the city and things like that. Once I get the name of it, I'm actually gonna look for the name and I'll let you guys speak, and I'm gonna let you guys know. You guys watched it. I think they took it off of Netflix, and it was weird that they did. It was actually a pretty decent film. When you guys see this, it was actually pretty. I think it's called Brotherhood or something like that. I'm gonna look it up though, and I'm gonna send you guys, and I want you guys to watch this with me. And then next week, I want you guys to tell me what y'all thought.
Okay. Well, I feel like first of all, this is the first time I've heard the term trauma porn. I've never heard that before. But it's been something that's been going on for years. However, I feel like what makes this different is that there are black people behind some of this production, some of these films, some of these TV shows, like Lena Waithe. And it brings up the question: why are our people, why are our people who are writers and producers or whatever, why do they feel like they need to hit that trauma porn button to make a shitload of money? Why you can't make a movie about black people coming up or black kings and black queens? Why we always got to hit the cheat code and do the same thing the white people do? You know what I'm saying? Lena Waithe has done Queen and Slim. I never seen Queen and Slim, but I heard it. A lot of people were very divided about that film. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
I
So
don't.
basically, it's supposed to be like Bonnie and Clyde, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. But I think in the ending, I don't want to spoil the ending if you're gonna watch it. But
Probably.
they die or somebody dies, something like that, right?
Okay.
Brutally, fatally, ridiculous, right? So and people were, you know, angry. Black people were angry, but like, why did you end it this way? Lena Waithe was behind that. Lena Waithe is also behind this TV show called The Shy, which is on Netflix, I believe, right? I've seen a couple episodes of that, and they have strong depictions of black brutality, police brutality, like where they show everything. You know, you don't have to show blood and all that shit. Like that's what I mean by excessive. It's not enough that they suggest it. They show all the images. They show it raw and in your face. And I guess in her defense, she says, well, this is the true black experience. I wanna show the true black experience. But enough is enough. Like we get it. We live in the true black experience. We don't need you to, reiterate and twist that knife and be like, yeah, it's bad, right? It does. It's no need for that. You know.
So let me go over to the comments. First of all, hi Zuri, hi. Thank you for tuning in. We thank you. My friend Step got jokes. That's my friend. Black people are tired of being themselves or seeing themselves as the victims. Black people are tired of seeing themselves as the protagonists. What the fuck do y'all want? We want a happy ending. We want we want fairy tales. We want to be the princess and the queen. We want all of that. That's what we want.
Well, I haven't heard black people are being tired of them being the protagonist. I haven't heard that. Where did that come from? Like they don't want to be the main character, or like people say that. That's weird for me. I don't know. If black people don't want to be the main character in the movie, if that's what they're saying. That's weird. I have never heard that before. But
Right.
you know,
If someone isn't overcoming anything, then what is the movie about? Y'all just complaining. So are we complaining? Are we do So here's the thing, right? I think what people are saying, because like I said, I see this phrase trauma porn all over social media. And I think because of the climate that we're in right now with COVID, the police brutality, things that are going on, I think people are just it's too much. It's too much. People are forcing their agendas, through TV, through movies, through things like that. People are, forcing their views, and I think people are saying, it's too much because because you take what's going on, and you got a whole season of a TV show. You got a whole season of Law and Order. You got a whole season of Queen Sugar. Okay, so what's going on Queen Sugar is they have COVID. So one part of the family is going through shutting down the business. The other girl, she got COVID. Then they have a scene where they're outside, Black Lives Matter, and the police roll up, and he's trying to explain to his son. He's trying to have this conversation with his son, about police and how you're supposed to respect the police and things like that. And then the police roll up and disrespect him. They got that going on. They have interracial relationship, and how this is struggling because of the police brutality and things like that, because he's a cop. Like, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. American, that was a lot. American Skin was a lot. um
I just feel like for me, it's not the fact that they want to produce a film about black people going through the struggle. Like I said, they've been doing that for years. I get it. It's the excessive use of the violence. It's the same excessive use that they show in, like, what you call it, like those horror movies where it's like blood and gore and shit like that. They're upping the effects. Like, if you see a black man get shot in the movie now, it's fucking blood gushing out his head and shit like that. We don't need to see that. You can suggest it and say, hey, he got shot. You know what I mean? Or just make it regular. Like, okay, he gets shot, and then you move on to the next scene. And, you don't have to, like, throw it in our face and be like, okay, he's shot and blood is dripping out his head. Yeah, we get it. He's dead. I got it. You don't have to dig into it and over
so
explain
your thing is you
that
don't
he's
want to see
dead.
the gore. You don't want to see the
Yeah, save that for they're killing kids. Look at in them. There's a scene. If y'all haven't seen it by now, I don't know what to tell you. Sorry, but there's a scene where a baby dies, right? And they show it. White people wrap the black baby up in a blanket and swing it around and throw it. When have they ever shown anything like that on TV or on streaming? What's the need for that? You didn't have to. It was we knew that the child died way before they showed that because they kept flashing back to the time where they showed the son, the little boy, and then we saw that he wasn't there no more. As black people, we know like okay, yeah, they killed him. Like that. That's it.
But you
You don't
didn't
need.
want to know what happened to him? Because I wanted to know.
Yes, but I didn't need to see him getting fling in a fucking blanket and thrown on the ground like a fucking Cabbage Patch doll. Like I didn't need to see that shit like that. Who are you? Who? Here's a good question because I've heard some people say that them was not for black people. It was not for us to watch. It was for the white people to watch, so they could see the damage and effects of why us as a people have mental issues. You know what I'm saying? Why we're so fucked up about why we keep bringing up slavery, why we keep bringing up, the way white people view us because our ancestors went through so much shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a spiritual person. I believe we carry all of that. We carry all of our ancestors' pain and shit within us. So we get depression and anxiety. We don't even know where the fuck it comes from. It comes from that. So maybe this was them showing white people, yo, this is why black people look at you or look at your history the way that they do. Because this is the shit that your grandparents and whatever ancestors did to us. So, but I don't think it was for us because, like I said, we didn't need to see that. I think it was over explaining things.
Okay. CJ, you
Yeah.
wanted to say something? You were.
Um, yeah. So
Trying to
the
get to
movie
the
it's called Black and Privileged.
Black
black
and
and
privileged.
privilege.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not on Netflix anymore, but you can believe you can find it on like Prime Video or something like that.
So Step says black people are tired of being the antagonists in movies. So I don't I don't know. I never heard that either. That's weird to me.
I have heard that,
What you
but
mean being
as
the antagonist?
the villain.
But in what hood movies? Because that's the only.
No, no. Take your favorite playwright and director, Tyler Perry.
Hmm.
If you've ever seen a Tyler Perry movie, all of the antagonists are dark skinned. He never has a light, and these are black movies. Never has a light skinned bad guy. So that plays on colorism. Okay. So why in all your movies the brown skin or the dark skin guy is the bad guy? And okay, for example, what was it? Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Okay. Her husband, the bad guy, he was dark skinned. Um, what's the dude's name? Plays on us. Shamar Moore was the hero with his fake braided wig. Like, what why did we play on that? Why is that always shown? And then you wonder why people, why we have colorism amongst ourselves and
Mm-hmm.
why we are treated differently,
That's why
on
we
the
always talk
outside.
about light skinned niggas.
But I've only seen that in Tyler Perry movies. I haven't really seen that been a thing you know in movies in general. He's the only dude
Well,
that I know that makes it known. Like, yeah, I'm making the dark skinned guy
look
the
at
villain,
look
or
at
the
look
black
at
guy the
Gridiron
villain.
Gang.
Period.
Look at Gridiron Gang.
What's it called?
Gridiron Gang.
The Gridiron Gang. I don't think I've seen that.
The movie with the rock, with the correctional facility and stuff like that.
Okay. I know
Hmm.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
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 Two dark skinned brothers. Is, can get along at some point. in one shot the other at the football game. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things, you know.
I'm tired of seeing black people get killed first in movies. I'm not even on that. I'm on us getting killed first and
And
getting
look,
killed
Busta
up.
Rhymes survived, all right? Busta Rhymes survived the
Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
Okay,
I was getting ready to say, like horror movies, we living, we alive, because we not stupid. We not,
this we ain't stupid.
we ain't
Exactly.
looking back. We not opening the closet door. We not investigating the noise. We not doing that. We
I
not.
You can't say that because there's a director or a production company called Cold Black Entertainment
Okay, I've seen
that
some of them.
produces the dumbest black films I ever seen in my life. There's a movie where Gabrielle Union gets locked out of her own house and somehow the robbers get in the house and her kids are in the house and she's locked out of the house. And the whole
Mm.
plot of the story is her trying to get inside her own damn house
Because
to
the
save her
house
children.
is no, it's that her father was some kind of science, technology, whatever. He was some kind of guru or whatever, and he built this house. It was like a safe house, and she left out, and that's how the kids got stuck on the inside because she went out because they were the father died, so she goes takes the kids to the house, and the father dies, and these people are trying to rob the house. So that's how she got on the outside. So I don't think she was dumb per se,
How do you get locked outside? First of
because
all,
it was a high tech house. The
and
father had built this house to
that's
like
the
off the
only
grid. It
way
was like off the grid type.
that's the only way they could make that movie work with that. It's a smart house. Once you take out the fact that it's a smart house and it becomes a regular house, she's an idiot. Weren't they children or were they like young adults or
They
whatever?
were like teenagers. They were like preteen teenagers. They did their thing though.
Yeah,
So she taught them well. That's a bad example. That was a
But
bad
she
example.
didn't. They didn't have to go. They shouldn't have had to go through that type of shit. Then
That
you
was a
got
bad example.
they got these movies where they make there's always the man. Okay, chick has an affair, you know, on her husband with this other guy, right? And he's extra handsome and he got the muscles and shit, whatever. I guess he's the bad boy. And then the new guy becomes a stalker or he has AIDS or some shit like that and he fucks up her life.
and he
Why?
likes them.
But doesn't that happen
Why?
though? In reality, if you cheat, then your life fucked up. Like what?
No, that doesn't happen. People cheat and
But
have a
then,
great life.
but then the nigga be light
They
skinned.
don't go
That's
through
what's
anything.
crazy about it. Then the nigga be light skinned.
So
Yeah,
the
they do.
so
They
the
do make them
stalker is
light.
light
Okay.
skinned. So all
Oh,
the stalkers in the movie, all the stalkers are light skinned.
Apparently
yes,
so.
yes.
Apparently so.
What's the guy name who got the blue eyes? He's always the stalker.
I know you're talking about.
Michael Ealy.
Yeah,
Mm,
Michael Ealy is always he's either the stalker
mm.
or he's the
deranged boyfriend. Yeah,
yeah all the
yeah.
time. And Cold Black Entertainment is behind all of these movies. And I think they're white writers. I think they're white writers because they keep it's a team of white writers that keep recycling the same dumb stories and shit. It's
So
all
why
right.
don't y'all write a movie? Why don't y'all write a movie where the light skinned guy doesn't prevail, but everybody prevails? Like,
I I don't care about that. My whole
See,
thing
guess
is
what?
making black people the villain. Period. The whole dark skin, light skin thing don't mean shit to me. Just the fact that the black man, is always the guy that beats his wife or some stupid shit like that. Like that. I don't like. I don't like that.
so you want the black wife to be her husband? Is that
It don't gotta be that, but I mean, like, why we always gotta be wife beater? This is why I don't like. I'm gonna lose my black
So
card.
apparently you don't watch Lifetime because there's none of us on
Hell
Lifetime.
no. Hell no.
There none of us on Lifetime, and
Mm.
everybody on they stalking, they wife beaters, they you know my
Yeah,
daddy locked me in the closet. Type, yeah, yeah. So you don't watch Lifetime. Lifetime is not our time.
Oh no, you watch Lifetime, brother?
I don't watch Lifetime, but that I get that. That was the whole thing about Lifetime. They like to paint men as the fucking devil all the time. Like I'm tired of that shit.
Yeah, I'm an
Black, white,
angel.
it don't matter.
They have women on Lifetime who are crazy. My crazy
Yeah.
twin sister.
They be white women.
Yes, but here's what they
There's a
do.
difference.
Here's what they do, right? Just like that movie with where the chick gets crazy or whatever, and because he cheats on her. I think he cheated on her.
Come
Acrimony.
on.
Yeah, right. She's crazy because of him. Why everything gets linked back to us?
No,
Why can't she
no.
just
See,
be
you
crazy by
ain't even
herself?
watching these movies. She was crazy from jump.
No, I know
She,
she was, but
yeah,
when
she
women
didn't
talk
teach.
about this film, they don't bring that up. They
They,
always they skip that part with her being crazy in the beginning. I saw it. He knocked the books out her hand by accident, and she flipped her fucking wig. I knew what was gonna happen for the rest of the movie. I'm like, yeah, she gonna turn the fuck up.
but he didn't make it any better. He didn't
You know,
help
but Taraji
her.
P. Henson, right?
But
Yeah,
still, she
like when she went to the trailer and he had the girl in the trailer and she flipped the trailer over. He should have left her ass alone then. She flipped over
yes,
the whole trailer.
This is
yes,
why I don't watch Tyler Perry
but
movies.
was was that a Tyler Perry? He did
Yes,
that.
that was a Tyler Perry
Oh, see,
movie.
he does ridiculous shit.
That
So I mean,
Temptation, all of that.
So y'all don't like
I,
Tyler
s-
Perry.
I seen Temptation one time. I was like, this shit don't
She
happen,
was the
yo.
bad guy. The girl in Journey was the bad guy in Temptation. She
Who?
cheated on. She was the psychiatrist, and she had an
But it was
affair.
still a dark skin. It's still a dark skinned nigga that fucked her over.
No, the dark skinned guy was her
Oh yeah.
husband.
I'm talking about the bald guy that she caught AIDS with.
Oh, I thought he was light skinned.
Nah, he ain't like well, he my complexion. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
But
gonna have to go back and
he
watch
ain't
it.
light skinned. You know what I'm saying? That
well,
man
first
was
of
my
all,
complexion.
I didn't like that movie at all because okay, I have a problem with that, but I also have a problem with them just giving her AIDS. Who wrote that in? Okay, she cheats. Give her AIDS. Why the fuck was that like a like part of the film? You couldn't think of anything like smarter than that. It's a very cheap trick, right? Like I
But
guess
something had to happen.
yeah, your
So
family.
why not be that detrimental? Because it's
Okay,
either she get AIDS, she get a disease, she get pregnant,
She, she
or he
learned the
kill
lesson,
her.
didn't she?
Like
but
what?
that doesn't happen. I mean, yes, it could happen, but it doesn't happen. Like there's no. I'm sure there's cases where shit like that happen, but they don't make the like nobody. That doesn't happen that much in real life. Like they kind of
I
amp
felt
that
bad for
shit
the
up,
boyfriend.
huh?
I felt bad for the husband. Yeah, look, his ex also caught AIDS because she cheated on him. She cheated on him with another man as well. And the same thing happened full circle. I'm like, damn, man, that must sucks. You can't choose one right with the dark skin lady. You can't choose right with the light skin lady. You know, just go Mexican.
So she just got AIDS. You stupid
Just
girlfriend.
go Mexican.
Well, we are going to definitely keep this under an hour. Um,
It's
I don't know how. The only thing I can say is don't support it. If if it bothers you that much, then don't support it, because then if you don't support it, you have the you if you don't support it, then they can't make money off of it.
Yeah,
If you don't support these projects and these things that you feel are that you feel is trauma or traumatic or the trauma porn or things like that, don't support it. Don't support it. And I know it's a horse that's being beat to death, but people have to, I guess what they're trying to do is expose the truth. Things that aren't in history books.
but at what expense?
That is true.
but they don't
That is
have
true.
to because the kids today, And the young adults today are exposing the truth. They got YouTube. They got camera phones. You understand what I'm saying? We didn't. That stuff wasn't around back then, so nobody
I'm gonna,
really knew
I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna end my
that shit
piece.
was happening.
It's when I grew up, I was 12 years old, right? And what grade was that in?
When you
I want to
grew
say the
up, you was
fifth.
you was in the sixth grade. I hope you was in
Yeah,
the
I was
sixth
about.
grade.
Yeah, I was no, I was in the fifth grade. I was in the fifth grade,
You was going to the sixth
and
though.
yeah,
Okay,
and
good.
they showed Amistad for the first time, Black
Okay.
History Month,
That shit gave
and
me PTSD.
even then, I cried. So now me growing up, looking back at it, I'm like, damn, but they really just showed this fucking movie to a bunch of 12-year-olds. Show it's crazy. I don't know if y'all seen Amistad. I don't know if anybody who's watching this seen
That was a
Amistad.
lot to show 12-year-olds. That
It
was
was
a
a
lot.
lot.
Yeah, that
It's
was
a
a lot.
lot. Roots. They showed us Roots too. Roots, Amistad,
Who
all
did you
that. It
go
was a
see?
lot. Listen, listen.
You had a black
The,
professor, didn't you?
the only
He
movie
was
that
12 years old. He was in the sixth grade.
the only movie that seemed okay for people to watch was what's that cartoon movie with Martin Luther King?
Cartoon.
I have a dream.
Um, I think
Something
that
like
was
that.
it. Yeah.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
But
I can just imagine because in fifth grade they showed us Raiders of the Lost Ark and tried to give us fruit cocktail jello that looked like monkey brains for lunch, and I was traumatized. So I can imagine.
yeah, so even looking back now, I'm like, damn, yo, I'm glad kids ain't gotta go through that. Cause us growing up, we had to watch slave movies. You gotta understand how different it is now. I don't even think they show slave movies now to kids.
No, no.
They aren't even teaching Black history to children, and because where we live, where I live in Pennsylvania, is a predominantly white area, and they don't celebrate Black History Month.
I'm pretty sure they don't.
So our kids get Black History at church and during youth group and things like that, and things that we teach them at home. They don't. There's no Black History Day parade. There's no Black History curriculum in Chester County schools at all.
I can't live in your county. I'd be the one that I'd be the introvert. I'd be look Black History Month. I'll host a block party and all that. Hey, bring all your white friends. Bring all your white friends. We gonna eat some baby back ribs. You know what I'm saying? We gonna have a moon bounce and everything. You know what I'm saying? We gonna have fun. We gonna throw some Al Green.
I mean, we do a lot of things with our kids at at our church and in the community and things like that. But like I said, they mm-mm, not at school.
See him right here.
And that's our time. That's how we measure our time by your cup. All right, that's how.
Yep, I'm out, so it's about time to
It's
end
about that
the
time to
show.
go.
Oh,
All right.
I
Do
ain't
you
not
guys
yet.
have anything? You guys got any closing remarks? Anything you got to say about this? This topic was a little deep tonight. We were a
Yeah.
little deep. So
I just
next
want
week
to
we're
say
gonna be a little
this.
light.
Be safe out here. Um, know your rights. Okay.
Hmm.
Not those rights, but know your rights. Okay. We live in a dark time right now where we have to be afraid not only of the people that make the laws, but the people who enforce them. So, not even being scared, just be careful. That's my piece.
Trent.
Pretty much the same thing, you know. Stay safe. I mean, they killing us up out there, so stay safe. You know, that's it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna thank you guys for joining us tonight. You can catch us on Tuesdays at 7:30. We just had to reschedule this week, but we do post this podcast on Tuesdays. Um, and I just like just to piggyback off of you guys, be safe. Um, be aware. Be aware. And, just talk to your kids. Talk to your kids. Like, just, you got to. You got to. You got to. So, like I said, thank you guys. Thank you for joining us. We do take this over to the clubhouse um, for the after party. So bring your red cups over to the clubhouse. We continue the conversation over there. You can I don't know who that is,
See, we
but you
got
can
music
join.
and everything.
Right, you can join us over there right after this broadcast. So thank you guys. Thank you for joining us. We are 11 minutes over, so we're doing better. We're getting there. We're doing
Much
better.
better.
But um and if you want to follow us, you can follow me on the clubhouse. I'm Nixie714. I'm Confections by Cole on Instagram, and I was Nicole Camp on Facebook, but that person's in jail. So, if you want to follow us at Red Cup Chronicles, and holla at us. Let us know what you want to talk about, because we like to engage. So, whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about it.
Peace.
Let us know.
Good
Till then, keep
night.
your red cup, and we'll see you next week.
It's empty.
Good night.